Good evening. Welcome to Daily News Analysis by Tathastu ICS. I am Manisha Armugam here to discuss the Hindu newspaper of the day, 26th February 2020. Right? Okay. So I hope you all doing good and your studies are also going great. You know? So I guess you all familiar with me. Okay. So again, back to the conversations. Okay, you will get this PDF in the description box, and also you can scan this QR code for joining a Telegram channel, right? So with further no delay, we will go into the session. So today we have like 4 topics. Okay, we will see one by one. First is the two-child norm, where the Rajasthan government, state government have took off this two-child norm. Okay, scrapped in the local body election. Okay, so we will be seeing it. What is the importance for that? Okay, good evening Hussain, good evening Nikhil. Okay, okay. Then it is, we are going to focus in the way, see, as it belongs to the state government, in UPSC preparation it is not much needed, but we are going to see the crux of it. Okay, as it belongs to the local government, right, local body government. So we are going to see it in the GS2 paper perspective. Okay, how at times when the things are needed to be altered, when the things are needed to be shifted. Okay, so according to the trends or according to the current needed things. Okay, so we are going to alter the things basically on that. So based on that we are going to see this. And the second thing is about the species. Okay, we first time witnessed the Eurasian diving duck. Okay, in Kaziranga National Park, which is a part of Tiger Reserve. Okay, so we will be seeing the importance of this species, and for the first time, so we will be seeing what drive those species here for the first time. Okay, usually in India these species will not be there, but now they have migrated. So we will see what is the good thing about India's wetlands, and also the other ecological benefits, features, and also what is the distress that happened earlier, like their earlier breeding ages. Okay, breeding areas like in the western side. Okay, what was the concern that we are going to see it here. Again, it is important for us in the GS3 paper, as it belongs to the environment, ecology, and also species related things. Okay. Third one is about balancing faith, dignity, and constitutional rights. This editorial, this article is basically on the Sabarimala issue. So we will be seeing what is the what exactly the Supreme Court or the other court has to be focused on when it comes to the religion and the constitution. So how it have to be balanced. So this article is talking about that. So we will be focusing on that. Okay, in the GS2 perspective. And also the last one for the day would be bottled water in India. So we are very familiar with the bottled waters right now, right? So earlier in railway stations, in public infrastructure, we used to have the municipal water supply, right? Even in home also, now we are going for most of mineral bottles and also the bottled water cans, right? So bottled water basically. So we will see why the shift is there and what is the impact, the environmental and also the human health impact, how it giving a major hazardous things for these two concerns that we are going to see. So this editorial basically will be on two perspectives. This editorial is talking about the regulatory gaps also, and apart from that we are going to see the major concern here. So here in GS3 paper and also in GS2 paper we are going to see, the GS3 will be basically on the GS3 paper basically on the toxins and other particles which the bottled water is being contained. Okay, and the second thing is about GS2, as we are talking about the regulatory gaps and what can be the regulation that can be taken up and what all the way forward that can be bring out in the polity in the governance section. So in that case we are going to see in the GS2 paper. Okay, okay, moving on, let's go to the first article of the day. Okay, Rajasthan scraps two-child norm for local body and Panchayati Raj polls after 3 decades. Okay, so here we have to forget this certain state. Okay, Rajasthan. So coming back to the core crux issue of this article is about in local body governance. Okay, people who are having, if you want to contest in the local body government, if you want to contest in the election, at that time it is considered that there is a norm where if you have more than two children, if you have more than two children, you cannot contest in local body elections. Okay, so this is the major thing. So why it is two children, more than two children cannot be contested? Because see, at that time in 1990s, this norm have been brought in the time of 1995. Okay, at that time the population was very high, the fertility rate was very high. So to bring the population control, to bring the responsible parenting, then government have introduced that we are going to have this norm. Okay, so that there will be controlled population will be there, that will be affecting on the proper governance also. Okay, so this is a major thing. The background is about this only. In 1991 to 94, almost the fertility rate was around nearly 3.6. Okay, so almost like 4 children per house, right? So to control that, this norm have been brought in. Okay, so we all familiar with the three tier governance also. We will be seeing eventually one by one. Okay, so starting with, so this is the major concern is about for the population control, and also candidates with children more than 2 cannot contest in local body election. This is the major concern, right? Okay, apart from that, introduced in 1995 for the population control, and also to encourage responsible parenting among the candidates. Okay, so being a role model, being an inspiration. So if the higher authorities or any other people being an influence, if they are going with a trend, then other people also will follow. So these are the major two objective of this two child norm. Okay, not only Rajasthan. Okay, many like Chhattisgarh, okay, Haryana, okay, all these kind of Gujarat also, Odisha also, these states also have this two child norm. Eventually after some time, certain states have removed them also. Okay, when their fertility rate have been stabilized. Now our almost fertility rate is around 2. Okay, so after this, certain states have revoked this norm, and then comes the Rajasthan also. Right now they have revoked it, considering the fertility rate as 2. Okay, then moving on, here I have underlined, highlighted this in the green color for state PCS. For UPSC, it is not necessary. If you are considering the state PCS of Rajasthan, at that time the factual thing is important, otherwise it's okay. Okay, so Panchayat, let's go into the majorly into the crux, okay, which is important for us in the UPSC perspective. Okay, so we got to know what is the two child norm. Now we are getting into the static part. Okay, first one is about Panchayati Raj, because local body government will be having two. One is Panchayati Raj and otherwise other one is about the municipalities, right? So first we will be talking about Panchayati Raj. Initially the 3-tier government have not been constituted in the constitution. Okay, lately it have been added, like in 1992 it have been added with the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, which added the 11th and 12th schedule. Okay, the 11th schedule and the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act is for Panchayati Raj, and 12th schedule, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act is for our municipalities. Okay, so basically this Panchayati Raj and municipalities, the local government elections, it comes under the state list. Okay, the state list of list 2, it is mandating that state to take care of these local body elections, where we would be able to focus on the grassroots level governance. Okay, so this is the major concern, where the idea of setting up the grassroots level governance is to giving a individual like authority for local people. Okay, the inclusive participation will be there. Apart from that, if you see India's nature, rural areas and the villages are the huge backbone, like they were the very highly supportive backbone of India. Okay, so the governance from there, from that grassroots level will bring the inclusive growth and also the inclusive political rights also. Okay, so that is the basic concern for this local government. Okay. Then So when we talk about the 11th schedule, it have mentioned that, okay, the agriculture, irrigation, health, sanitation, so and the rural housing also. Okay? So rural housing also will be managed by Panchayati Raj. Okay, and when it comes to municipalities, like kind of a urban area, okay, so here we are talking about the urban planning, okay, and also water supply in those areas, apart from that roads, public infrastructure, public health care, and also slum improvement. So these are the areas that has been given to these municipalities. Okay, so when we talk about these elections, these Panchayati Raj and municipalities will be getting elections every 5 years, which is managed by, regulated by the State Election Commission. Okay, okay. So these are the major thing that we it is important for us in the UPSC concern. So under state list, okay, State Election Commission will be taking care of it. Every 5 years it will be conducted. Okay, if there is any dissolution, okay, if there is any dissolution of this local governments, after within 6 months of this dissolution, another election have to be kept. Okay, so if there is in the 4th year, okay, 4.5th year, if there is any dissolution, at that time we don't want to again contest election. Instead, we are going for a fresh elections after the 5 years. Till then, the state government can take care of this, the schemes or any other functions are going on. So that can be taken care by the state government. Okay. Then the mandatory, the very inclusive part of this is minimum 1/3 of the reservation should be given for SC, ST and also women. Okay. So in many states it have been ratified for 50%, almost 50% have been included. Okay, SC, ST and women participation are there, reservations are there in maximum of the states. Okay, and talking about the 3-tier governance. So this is all directly connected with our article, and the second thing is about the 3-tier government. Okay, so the 3-tier governance, the benefit of is about what we talked is democratic decentralization, where the article 40 of DPSP mandating the grassroots level governance, right, and participatory democracy. So every part of the India will be contesting in the political spheres, okay, and the inclusive governance, which we have already talked, and accountability to people, where people are closely connected with grassroots level governance. Okay, so if we see the reality, I cannot go and directly meet my legislative assembly member. Okay, for my constituency, they will be sitting in the legislative assembly, right? So I cannot go and directly talk to them. But when it comes to the grassroots level, the local government, so they are easily approachable. They will be like they have the major of the accountability there, and it is easily approachable to people, and here accountability is high. Okay, so they are one of the means they are going to bring those issues, concerns to the higher representatives. Okay, so these are the things that is important from this article. Just read till this only. Post this, it is completely of a political news, that is not necessary for us. Okay, moving on. The next article is about the Eurasian diving duck. Okay. So first time in India, in the Kaziranga National Park, we had a bird sighting. We got the Eurasian diving duck there. Okay, so it have visited. Generally, it usually travels for or migrates when there is a season. Okay, they don't usually visit India. Very rare condition. In very rare condition, it used to visit India. Okay, so before that, if we see the pattern, they usually go to Central Asia. Okay, mostly they go for the Siberian. They breed maximum in the Siberian taiga forest. Okay, so what derives them to India is like our wetland quality. Okay, the atmosphere that it is cultured and nurtured in India in the Kaziranga National Park. It is very suitable for these ducks. So they are right now migrating. So we are able to see two things as we have discussed earlier. First thing is about the quality of Indian wetland, okay, and the second thing is about the distress in the western areas. Okay, so we will see one by one. First time, mu, okay, its biological name is Mergellus abellis, okay, and Eurasian diving duck recorded in Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve. Okay, so we are able to see here that this change, okay, this shift is basically on the climate change, okay, induced range shifts in migratory species where they have been directed to India when it comes to there is a distress in the western areas where they usually go for the breeding. So the core findings of the study is about, so this article is telling that there is a there was a study, okay, in the bird sighting. We are able to find out certain findings, that is first thing we talked, right, first ever sightings new. Then second thing is about there is a climate driven shift in migratory route, okay, because generally they used to go for where? Central Asia, but now they have visited India. In India also mostly they will be visiting northern and the central India, not the southern India. Keep that in mind. Then the decline in numbers, here this is the concern. Actually there is a huge number have been witnessed in the 2025, but in 2026 we are able to see there is a decline in the number of migratory birds. Okay. Then the wetlands as critical stopover sites. So nowadays we are able to see how crucial they are, the wetlands are, okay, for these species, those who are losing their habitat and also they are being declined in the numbers, okay, to breed and to take a stopover, our wetlands are very much needed. Okay. And other thing is about the conservation concern due to the habitat loss and also heavy oil pollution. So these the oil pollution in the lakes and the oceans, okay, so all these are due to fishing and many other things, okay, transport and everything, we are getting the oil pollution. So these are making the habitat very struggled habitat for these birds. Okay. So these are the findings that we have got. So conservation measures have to be taken, and also we have to increase the increase other facilities for them, other features for them which is suitable for their breeding and also the stopover, so that we will be able to get more and more these migratory birds. So if you ask what is the importance of these migratory birds, it shows how, see, ecologically they know well, right? So they know the quality of the ecological surroundings, so we would be able to find out the quality. And the second thing is about there will be a huge biodiversity and we will be having huge number of species that will be actually helping us in the environmental basis. Moving on. So what is the bird census findings where? So this has been mentioned in the article. We could able to see there is 18 species that have reduced, okay, sorry, that comes in the IUCN, that have been visited India this time, and also apart from that 17 fewer species than 2025, which we talked about the declined numbers, right? So we got 17 lesser species this time, and also the numbers also have gone down. So 6,522 birds have been lesser this time, and also we found 107 species been recorded in this census finding. Okay. And also the top species will be bar-headed goose. Why it is important, why I have written it here, because we may expect questions from here as well. So the bar-headed goose, northern fintail, and also lesser whistling duck. So these are things we have to focus on the other side as well. Okay. So coming back to SMU. So because this is the first time we are witnessing SMU, we have to talk about it. We have to look what are all those features and what is the requirements of these diving ducks. First thing, they are Eurasian, okay, Siberian, native, okay, they are from these Siberian and also northern Europe areas, they are native to that. And when it comes to the wintering range, they usually go for Eastern Europe and also Central Asia. Very rare condition in India, which we talked for the first time. Okay. Then what are the habitat requirements for them? There should be fish rich, so there will be lot of fish should be there for them, and they usually stay in the freshwater lakes. Okay, so for them freshwater is mandatory, where the flood plains, they will be breeding around the flood plains also. They like to breed around the very calm river banks, okay, and also they will be going for the most of fresh waters. Then sheltered wetlands we have to manage, and also their status in IUCN is around, they are least concerned, but we are able to see a declined numbers of these diving ducks also. So if we see the reason for the decline in their numbers, it is like poaching, okay, hunting is keep on going on, and other thing is like due to climate change, their habitat is being lost. Okay, so as we know, they are native to Siberian forest, so it is like they need a very cold area, but nowadays they are losing their habitat, so their count is also going down. Okay, so what we have to see here is about, we have to retrieve their habitat, and also we have to mandate the regulations which is securing them from poaching. Okay, the anti-poaching and also the hunting have to be regulated, where the prohibition have to be levied. Okay, then the most important thing about SMEW is they are indicator of wetland health. Okay, so this is the major thing that we have to kept in the focus. Okay, then the climate change signal. Okay, so their migratory shift, the route have been shifted, that shows the climate change signal. Okay, and also the what else can be done, because see, to secure these species we have to focus on not only the regulations, okay, apart from that ecologically they should have a feasible locations and also the habitat where they can actually breed and also nurtured, right. So we have to, as they go for more of a wetland and also the fresh waters, we have to maintain the quality of them, first thing. Second thing is about oil pollution have to be in the control. There should be no oil pollution or oil leakages in the oceans or anywhere else there is any stopovers. Okay, and also the anti-poaching laws have to be regulated. Okay, so otherwise it is good to see. Okay, and we have this have to be focused. Okay, what is the abundant species that we have? Abundant is like huge number of species. Okay, large, like they have large numbers. Okay, so like hundreds, thousands they used to come, frequent births. Okay, and also we have given the they have given the 18 numbers of the endangered and vulnerable species. Okay, so we have to just have a look on this, otherwise give more emphasis on this diving duck. Post that you will be able to just go through it, so we would be able to see the numbers. Okay, and also the important crux of it, what is the wetland, what is the requirements and all these. Okay, moving on, the next article is about, this editorial is about the Sabarimala issue. Okay, so the title is about balancing faith, dignity and constitutional rights. So here we could be able to see three things, right. One is faith, which is belong to the religious part, and also the dignity, where the individual's rights are being talked about. Okay, and the third thing is about the constitution. So these are three different things that coincidentally came into the Sabarimala issue. We will be seeing one by one. So as you all know, most of you know that Sabarimala issue is that Sabarimala temple of Ayyappa in Kerala. Earlier there was a rule. Okay, there was a rule like that. Only male, or if it is a female, the female should be below the age of 10. Okay, and also higher the age of 50, which is technically either before puberty or the after the menopause time they can enter the temple, okay. Because there is a faith in Kerala that Lord Ayyappa in Sabarimala, actually he is a bachelor, okay, there. So the menstrual cycle of women will be affecting, that is a religious faith, okay. We are not going much into it and we are not going to argue on that. This is the concern. So that is why the women in the age between 10 to 50 are being barred from the temple entry. So this is the concern, overall concern. So in 2018, this have been passed, okay, this have been struck down, and it have told that, see, women can go, okay, nobody can stop them, because the religious faith that we have right now, okay, it is not actually that there is no factual or any other inferences that we, valid inferences that we have, okay. So now women can enter the temple, okay, there is no restriction for that, and it is mandatory that to revisit the ideas of being neglected or barred from any religious faith, okay. So this is the basic thing, where after this judgment also, like after allowing women to enter the Sabarimala temple also, still there is a argument, again there is a legal debate, okay, there is a petition have been filed that women should not be allowed, okay. So now they have constituted 9-judge bench, okay. So 9 judges will be sitting and they will be discussing about not to again rebar the women, instead we are going to just think about how we could balance it. So this whole article is talking about that only, what is the Sabarimala issue, and what is the earlier verdict, and also what is the concern, that the arguments that have been put forth earlier, and now what is the state, okay. So that is what we are going to see now, okay. Then, so here you could see SC allowed women in, Supreme Court allowed women in 2018, but again due to certain arguments, the 9-judge bench have been settled down, okay. Then they are going to re-examine how court should balance the religious freedom with constitutional values. Here the constitutional values is about inclusivity and also dignity of women not being neglected, okay. That is what being talked here. So if we see the concern, barred temple entry for women, okay, in the age group of between 10 to 50, okay, and also there will be a we talked about this Lilibet deity Lord Ayyappa, and also there is a unique religious practice where for 2 months, okay, around 48 days they used to have fast. So if we see the technicality here, the age group of women at this age, they used to get their menstrual cycle. So this 2 months menstrual cycle cannot have that, that will not support the fast, right. For 48 days they cannot keep that fast. So that is the major issue, is talking about the unique religious practice. But keeping all those aside, okay, so if they don't want to keep the fast, but they can enter the temple. So that is what the major issue is here about, okay. The petitioner's arguments were, so it is being discriminatory for women. Okay. So why it is against women, or why it is like women cannot go inside. So that is being talked about, the discriminatory, and also violation of fundamental rights where the freedom of religion, okay. So where I am not being a woman, I am not able to access my like religious faith. So that is what being talked about here, okay. So in 4:1 majority, they have said that women can, Supreme Court have ruled that women can enter the Sabarimala temple. Moving on. So the arguments majorly made by Justice Indu Malhotra, which is right now driving this article, which is, there are certain areas where Justice Indu have argued, and she is like taking the stand of like women have to be barred from this religious temple entry. Okay, we will be seeing one by one. This is just for your idea, it is nowhere going to help, but the discussion that we are going to do based on these arguments, that will be reflecting your paper. First thing, courts not interfere in faith. Here, this is a major concern. Court can be interfering in the religious matters also, okay, when it is needed, okay, there will be there won't be any rules and regulations will be framed by court, but instead if there is any need, like if certain section of a people are being not allowed to the temple entry, or if they are not giving with the equal rights, at that time court can interfere. So this is one of the major thing, is like court cannot interfere in faith. So here it is not, the constitutional value is not been taken care. Okay. Then the second one is protection for essential religious practices. Here the essential religious practices is a major concern, where we are seeking the balances between this essential religious practices and also the constitutional value. Okay. So if there is any specific or if there is any unique practices that have to be considered for the first, okay, that have to be put in the priority. That is what she is being arguing, like there should be a protection for unique or essential religious practice. And the third one is about equality doctrine should not override denominational rights. Okay. So again it is about the ERP. Okay. Okay. So it's about the denominational rights, where Sabarimala temple did not have any denominational rights, but instead the argument is about the equality doctrine, where every section of the people can come and they can worship in the temple, so that cannot be overriding the denominational rights. This is the argument of Hindu, but Justice Hindu, but the problem here is about there is no denominational rights. Everybody has to be, should have the access to enter the temple, right? Then comes the faith must be harmonized with constitutional principles. So it is somewhere or the other, it is saying that courts have to take a stand and they have to stand outside, okay, stand outside of the religious faith, okay, but in reality it is important for courts intervention also at times to interfere and also to look into the certain things which is being unbiased. Okay. Now already the judgment has been given, so the re-examination is about like the how to balance, keep the balance between this constitutional rights and also the religious faith. Okay. So there won't be any changes in the judgment, but there will be addition of suggestions and also there will be briefing of the rule. Okay. So bench is examining about the scope of essential religious practices. So how far it is factually and it is valid. Okay. And the second thing is about relationship between the equality and religious freedom, where if I am not able to access the temple, somewhere or the other I am being unequally treated unequally, right? So this inequality have to be taken care. Okay. Mani Deepak, admin. Mani Deepak, if you have mailed us and our team will be connecting you, okay, contacting you, don't worry. I don't know about the mail that you have actually sent and what is the concern, so I cannot give a comment. Okay, moving on. You can contact our official number and you can talk to them. Okay. Then the crux of the article is about the essential religious practices, okay, mixed court theological arbiters, and also courts should adopt anti-exclusion test, which is every section of the people have to be kept in mind and they have to be, there should be inclusivity of people. Okay. Then the religious autonomy must respected, but no religious practice should undermine dignity and equality. So the religious practices have to be respected, but at the same time it have to be taken into the consideration and it have to be kept in mind that the dignity and the equality of people have to be maintained, which is a core value of the constitution. Okay. So this is the main thing about this article. You can just have a read about it, nothing else in this. Okay. It is about barred entry for women, and there was a judgment in 2018 like women can enter the temple, but again still the petitions are being filed, okay, there is a lot of arguments, so the legal debate is going on. We will see in a further more elaborated way when the judgment is been, if there is any alterations in the judgments, okay. So otherwise nothing else, you can just have a go through of it, okay. Coming to the last article of the day, okay, unpacking the myth of safe bottled water in India. So here in safe bottled water of India, we are able to see the packaged drinking water is being used very far, like in a very vast manner, right. So wide range of bottled waters are being consumed, and those unused water bottles are being discarded in a different way, okay, where how it is not supposed to be discarded, it is the way that is being discarded right now, right. So we have to take a measures for the waste management crisis, and also we have to take in care of about the health issues that is being caused by this packaged drinking waters. We will see one by one. So first thing is about the increased use of water bottles, right. So here, even in the disaster time, we used to give packaged drinking water only, okay? We have no other choice also. And when it comes to the travel, obviously now you can see rail near, right, and there is a lot of national brands that actually giving the packaged drinking water. The problem is with not the water, okay. So there is a testing mechanism for the testing of quality of the water, and what are all the minerals and what are all the bacteria or pathogens that is present. So based on that, the tests are being done properly, and now the concern is more of, okay, not because of the pathogens or bacteria that is causing fever or any contaminated related issues, but now the concern is basically on the microparticles and microplastics and the nanoplastics. We will be seeing one by one. Okay. So these microplastics, they are not able to, they are less than 5 millimeter. Okay. So they are very small in size, we cannot see, and nanoparticles are even more smaller, which will be visible under the microscopic level only. So if if this water bottle has been contaminated for so long time, okay, there will be chemical leaching also, we will be seeing what is that, okay. So the microplastics and the nanoplastics by wear and tear or keeping them in the sun for long time, okay. So all these will be causing these kind of certain health issues, where the chemical leaching and also the particles, right, micro and nanoparticles which are being discarded in the water. So if we are intaking it, it seriously causes the indigestion problem, and also they may enter our blood vessels as well, okay. So we will be seeing it. So what is the major issue for increased water bottles? Because there is a declined trust with the municipalities, where the water supply through the pipes, okay, water supply through the taps are being like there is no trust on them, the cleaning and also the pipe system, the supply system, all these are under being concerned, where the groundwater stress is being taken into the consideration, and apart from that, the cleanliness of those pipes and the connectivity infrastructure have to be taken care. So that is a major issue for the declined trust, okay. And the major issue is the shift from the pathogens and bacteria concerns to microplastics. So microplastics and nanoplastics, and apart from that, the additives and also the chemicals that has been released, okay, from these bottles. So these are the major thing. So one use bottles, be it any soft drink or any packaged drinking water, those one use bottles have to be used only once, and please do discard them after their use, okay. Don't repeatedly use it for twice or thrice, because here we are able to understand that the longer time it have been exposed in the sunlight, and also the longer time it has been during the supply chain or any other transit, the damage that has been happened to these water bottles are releasing the chemicals and also the microplastics, right. So these are affecting, so try to use them once and please discard them, okay. So coming back, so we are able to find that in 1 liter of a water bottle, we are able to see 72 to 212 microplastics in the water bottle. So think about, a person is regularly drinking water like 3 to 4 liters per day, okay, and even if it is a packaged drinking water, so how much microplastics I will be intaking it, right? So that is a huge number. And the second thing is about the contamination during the supply chain. Here we are able to see that toxic additives and the pollutants are being released, okay, and the quality check measure is also in a very low level when it comes to the the packaging of the water bottle, okay. So the problem here is not about the water are being sanitized and everything is being done, okay. The microbiological organisms are being taken into the consideration. They are, whichever is needed they are kept, and whichever is like a pathogen or bacteria, they are being removed. But the problem is with the bottle. So the quality check of the bottle have to be taken care. So the durability of the water bottle will not be leaking any chemicals or any other microplastics. Moving on, the chemical leaching which we talked, okay. So the water bottle is, if this is a water bottle and it is exposed to the sunlight, okay. So day by day, like as a shopkeeper, I get them in lot, right? So I'll be keeping them. So for display, I used to keep them for like 10-15 days. So throughout the 10-15 days, there will be sunlight penetration in the water bottle, which will eventually releasing the chemicals, okay, and also the plastics will be, small plastics will be mixed in the water, okay. So the prolonged storage, exposure to the heat will be giving this chemical leaching, and also prolonged storage will be giving the little particles of this plastics, okay. And additives like antimony and also the phthalates, okay. So all these are kind of chemicals and additives which are harming the human health, but that is been detected in this prolonged water bottle storage, okay. Then the article is talking about the regulation gap, where FSSAI generally they used to give the licensing, and also licensing will be given to the under the governance of FSSAI, okay. So Food Safety and Standard Association of India will be taking care about, if there is any brand is packaging, the license have to be given, approved by them, and also the testing of the water has to be done by them, and also the compliance, if there is any against those, then that also have to be taken care by FSSAI, okay. But the problem here is FSSAI is standing with the water quality, and it have to be extended to the bottle qualities, and apart from that, we have to bring more regulations based upon the storage and supply chain quality, okay. So the quality have to be maintained in the storage and supply chain also. The end consumer, when the end consumer is getting the water bottle and consuming, till that time the standards, the quality standards have to be maintained. So this is where we are lacking, and we have to focus on regulating these areas, okay. So the fragment, another issue is about why it is being regulation gap. One is fragmented industry, where small units are bringing the packaged waters, okay. So eventually what it is happening, those fragmented units does not have a proper monitoring, so we are not able to see the water bottle qualities, and end of the day the groundwater stress is also being increased, because from groundwater they are taking the water and they are processing it, and they are filling in the water bottles, and they are being distributed, right. So two things, one is monitoring problem, and also the second thing is about the groundwater stress here with the fragmented industry. Then the third one is about the minimal oversight, as it is fragmented and there is huge number of small units, we are not able to monitor them, and there is no oversight of governance. We are not able to bring under the license. Unlicensed water bottles also being distributed in the things. Okay. So, if we see the issues when it comes to human, it is health issues, right? When it comes to the environment, where we are able to see the waste management, and also these bottles are being discarded in these water bottles are being discarded in the oceans, okay, river bodies or forest area also. So, it is becoming kind of a landfills, and also the water, it is affecting the water health also, right. So, where these small animals like fish or any other animal that has been intaking these plastics, eventually like, okay, let us take the example of fish. If the water bottle is being surrounded in the water body only, okay, they will be fragmented. After some time, the microplastics, like those plastics will be eaten by those fish, and fish, if there is any non-vegetarian or a coastal area side, people will be intaking the fish. So, it will not be digested by fish also, and it will be directly into the human body. So, again into the ecosystem, it is coming back. So, that is what the problem is. The bottles, after the microplastics are being exposed, okay. So, these are going in two things, one is directly into human and indirectly. So, the indirect way is about the discarded bottles will be coming into the landfills and also the oceans, okay, by intaking the resources from the land and ocean, again it is coming into the ecosystem by and affecting the human health, okay. So, this article is completely about this, okay. So, here if you see, they have talked about the number of particles, okay, and also what is the risk in this, and mostly they have given only two toxic additives. One is here, okay. So, the two additives are being given here is antimony and phthalates, okay, phthalates. So, these are the two additives that we have to kept in mind, and apart from that, it is talking about the governance, regulations gap, right. So, what we have to do, we have to regulate the FSSAI, and also to an extent where the end consumer, till the end consumer is being consumed, those products have to be taken into the consideration. The quality have to be maintained till that, okay. So, that is a major concern. So, if there is any violation of these rules and regulations, that have to be give a solution with cancelling the license and everything. So, that is what given in the way forward also. So, in way forward, we would be able to see different things, okay. First is about, we have to rectify the lacking reliable potable water infrastructure, which is generally the municipalities used to give, and we have to increase the potable water infrastructure, okay. First thing, we have to reduce the issues with that, and we have to increase the availability of water, okay. Then second thing is about exposure risk, okay, through the sunlight or any infiltration have to be taken care, and we have to reduce it, okay. And also removing particulate matter, okay, this have to be taken into consideration. Third one is about prolonged storage of bottled water, okay. So, the supply chain and also the storage have to be taken into the consideration. So, the under heat, it should not be kept for a long time, okay. So, we have to give a proper storage regulations also, okay. And also apart from that, we are just going to strengthen the municipal water supply system, and also expanding access to affordable households, filtration, and improving consumer awareness, okay. So, we have to tell about the hazardous things and also what can be eliminated, so that we will be safe, okay. So, that awareness have to be provided, and also updating regulatory frameworks to include routine testing for microplastics and plastic derived contaminations, okay. So, that is what majorly important here. So, the testing have to be furthermore taken for this microplastics and the plastic derived contaminations, because it is a major concern. Okay, the water bottle and the water are being tested and the quality is being taken care when they are manufactured, but apart from that, the biological things like pathogens and bacteria, we have to move more towards the microplastic things. Okay, so that is for the day. So if you have any doubt, please let me know, and otherwise we will be winding up the session for the day. Okay, so now I just looking for the any doubts. Okay, if there is any doubts, let's take it for the day, or else we will be moving out. Okay, so let's wait for 5 minutes. If there is any doubt, we can discuss. Okay, and I would like to conclude this session like there is one again Tirukural. We are back to the form. Okay, so the Tirukural for the day would be Devatan Agadeninum. Okay, Devatan Agadeninum Muyarchitan, like with the if the fate is not favoring you, even with the hard work you would be able to get it. The efforts will be giving you the results. Okay, even if your fate is not written for that, if you are keep on working on that, if you keep on giving your efforts, then definitely you would be getting them. Okay, so all the very best. Keep studying, keep putting your efforts on your dreams. You will be getting it eventually. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good evening. We will catch up